board, and we will get this uploaded for you guys, and that way you guys have it and can refer back to it. And I also have charts pulled up if you need me to share those too. Maybe you.
Okie dokie. I know, I was just looking, I'm like, I think we have more than 11 rubies within our 2 teams.
I know, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is every Monday, every single Monday, so it's not like you didn't know if you're watching this as a recording. So I was just doing a quick little reminder to everyone. Okay, so Tavy and I realized that we kind of are similar in how we teach our teams to chart. But it's just fascinating to me how many people use a chart until they hit diamond, and it's almost like that chart goes away and you just think you are going to memorize it or something, or you're only a ruby. And I don't mean only, I meant like your rank lifetime is ruby and you only have a diamond chart. That's it. Like you're still just off of that diamond chart, just still trying to like put pieces together in there, but yet you're not a solid ruby rank currently. Does that make sense to everyone? You guys, real quickly, before we even really dive in, this needs to be interactive. This needs to be like a Q&A, because one thing I do know for me personally is I get questions every day about charting, and either where do I put this person? Can I use this volume if this person quit? What happens if this person isn't commission qualified? Like all of those things, you guys, that you're maybe uncertain of. You guys, there's still things about my chart that I am learning 8 years later. So don't think that, oh, I better not ask this question because I should know it. No, it's totally fine. I love charting. Charting is literally like my love language when it comes to this business. So if you guys have questions, please do not hesitate. And I always say, closed mouths do not get fed. And if you want to be fed that diamond and above paycheck, then you got to ask some questions. So I'm going to do some kind of like bullet points, and then Tavia is going to kind of go over kind of like how to train your team into going ruby with you, going emerald with you, going diamond and above with you, not just you doing it by yourself. And yes, sometimes we have to do this alone until you find the replacements, right? So one thing I wanted to make sure you guys know is right now, like, let me ask and be honest, like, where are your charts? Do you have them on you right now? Okay, if you do, show them to me. Mine is on, I was literally working, mine is on my bed, but I have, you guys, this is hilarious. But I've got charts galore. Okay, I got charts and steps to success all right here. Okay, if you tell me right now that you're on this Zoom right now and you don't have a chart for the month yet, then I'm going to do a little bit of shame on you, but it's okay, because I just need you to say that tonight you're going to get one printed. And if you tell me you do not have a printer and use that as an excuse, then I'm going to say, too bad, so sad. You know what I mean? Like, make it work. So all of you need to solemnly swear that you are going to get your stuff printed by tomorrow night. Like, no excuses, hands down. Okay. And if that means you have to go pay for copies at Office Depot or wherever it is, like the UPS store, anywhere, then you need to get that done. Okay. So you're going to print out, what I always recommend you guys with your charts is print out multiples. Okay.
Hey, CJ, turn that down.
Oh, wait. Jess, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just didn't know what else you're going to say. Just saying. No. You want to make sure you have multiples. I mean, honestly, if you are a lifetime rank of ruby and you're trying to go emerald and diamond, I would say minimum of 5 ruby charts, especially if you have to go get them printed yourself somewhere, pay for it, get a stack. You guys get rubies printed, get emeralds printed, get diamonds printed. Okay. Not just one. Okay. The other thing, rule of thumb is you can laminate and use, the dry erase markers. But to be honest, you guys, I've seen some of yours and they're a hot ass mess, just to be plain and simple. So if you're someone that you're just like scribbling and then you let your kids scribble and whatever, no, Okay, this is literally like, I have mine still like push pinned to bulletin boards and like keep it away. You guys, these are important documents for your paychecks. Okay, so I don't laminate because I just don't, because I want to see like where everything's at. I personally use pencil. I use pencil. I do everything in pencil. So I recommend, if you don't have pencils, then when you go print out your charts, get a bunch of pencils with some good erasers on them. Okay. So that's kind of like the go-to of what you need. The next part, you guys, is where did you end in April? Okay, so you should have a chart with how you ended in April, and you leave it the way it is. You do not dry erase on that. You do not pencil erase on that. That right there is like your golden ticket. That chart, how you ended in April, needs to be right there in front of your face almost every single day, because now you need a fresh chart with nothing on it. So you know exactly what you need to do, because that one didn't happen, right? Or maybe you hit your rank, congratulations, but now what, right? You need to see where you placed the volume, where you had an LC that was ordering for 3 months, but last month was her last month and she said she's going to cancel. You need to know those things, you guys. Those things are so important. What we're doing right now is setting you up for success, because it sounds like a lot of us have been just on this road, not to failure, but just kind of be like stagnant, just kind of like comfortable, just kind of like, let's go with the flow and see what happens. How many of you guys raise your hand if that's kind of how you've been? You're like, well, we're going to kind of see how it pans out on the 25th. And then after the 25th, we're going to just be like, okay, now I know what to do. And that's not what we're doing in the month of May. So the best place, you guys, to figure out, if you're right here right now going, crap, I have no idea how I ended in April, like I'm screwed. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to go to your eSuite. You might want to write this down. I don't recommend doing it right now, because we're not going to necessarily chart together right now, but you need to know where. So write this down. You're going to go to your eSuite. Okay. And then you're going to go to reports. Well, first you're going to go to, you're going to go to reports, and then you're going to go to additional reports, because you know how you go there and you click additional, and you're going to click on volume total by distributor. And honestly, Tavia, if you want to share a screen and walk people through this, if any of you guys are like, I had no idea I could do this, I'm completely lost, let us know. But some of you guys are like, okay, I'll figure it out. But you're going to go to the report called volume total by distributor. There, oh, girl, she's like, I got you, boo. Did you guys hear me say "do you, boo boo" last night on my corporate power hour? And I literally was like, I never have said that in my life. But I just channeled my inner Ashley Mayfield. That was pretty funny, you guys, because that was real. Okay, so she's going there. Volume total by distributor. And then where it says period on the left. I'm wrong. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of another report. Yep, you just change, see where it says April, May, June, all that. So she just clicked it. You click where, because right now when you go to it, you guys, I have a lot of people do this. They go to it and they're like freaking out. They're like, everything's so like, I don't know what happened. You got to change it. So it's automatically going to be May. You're going to change it to April. Look how far back you guys can look at your reports and stuff. So you're going to change it to April. And then what you're going to do is, this is great. I mean, this is what I do every day towards the end of the month, but this is definitely what you want to do. If you did not do that, you're going to go here and then you're just going to find everyone's name in this report, and with a pencil you're going to write down everyone's volume, everyone's group volume. The PBV right here, or you can't see my mouse. I was like right here, you see it. The PBV does not matter at this point. It's the group volume that we're looking for. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Now, something that is very, very, very important. It's not necessarily important for if you're just trying to hit Ruby or re-rank Ruby, because you as the distributor, if you're not commission qualified, you're not going to hit those ranks. Now, what's major important, and you guys must know this, and this is a good way to look. For you guys that are either going for Emerald or higher, or re-ranking Emerald or higher, okay? You need to make sure those 2 people that are your rubies for you to go Emerald, were they commission qualified last month? Were they? If the answer is no, and you can look right there, that same report, you're going to look and it's going to show you who was commission qualified and who wasn't. Okay. If they were not commission qualified, you got to know, hey girl, are you running an auto ship this month? What's your plan? Like, I need to know. If there's somebody that has ghosted you, but right now you're just working with that chart until you can replace someone, okay, you need to see if there was any PBB. That's really the only time that is really important, is if they are not talking to you, they are not running an auto ship, and you need to see if there's any volume there, because what you guys all know this, if they're not running an auto ship, the only way for them to be commission qualified is having 150 PBB. Okay. So anybody who is helping you with the promotion needs to be commission qualified this month. So you need to see where they were last month and go from there. Before I go any further, are there any questions? You guys can also unmute. I don't think I see anything question-wise in the chat. Okay, no questions so far. Remember, you guys, if I confuse you in any way or you just need me to repeat something up until now, you need to ask. Okay.
Heather, this
Yes.
is Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Okay, quick question. So when you say re-rank for Ruby, what does that mean? That you have failed from your, you no longer Ruby, you have to, gain that back again, or?
Okay, great question. I always get those like crazy phone calls on the first, like, what happened? So no, you do not fail, but every single person in the entire company, including Joel and Stephanie Dunn and all those top income earners, on the first of the month, everybody goes back to distributor rank, every single person. And you definitely have to re-rank every single month and rank up every single month. So, and the reason for that, Vicky, is because it's a new month. So everybody starts at 0. And then as auto ships start to process for their second, third, and, fourth and on months, your volume will start to show up again. But that's why it's so important. We say, once you hit a rank, you can't stop. Okay, because eventually that volume will go away. Eventually people will decline, they'll cancel. And if you are not doing your steps to success every single month, then you will start to maybe fall back and not re-rank to the Ruby, and you're not going to promote to the next rank up. So that is a great question. With that being said, that's why I tell all of you, no matter what your rank is, all of you need to have your own Ruby chart. Every single one of you, because we all are distributors on day 1. On the first of the month, we are all distributor rank. And actually, we are all technically not, unless you are commission qualified. So until you run your auto ship, it's not even going to tell you that you're paid as a distributor. It's going to say nothing really. So make sure that you guys all have a Ruby chart for yourself. So like right now, there's 18 of us on here. Some of you guys are going to watch this as a recording. Do you know how close you are to re-ranking as a Ruby right now? No matter if you're a presidential, like on today, on May 3rd, where are you as far as re-ranking to Ruby? Do you guys like nod your head? Like, does everybody know that answer? Yeah. Okay. And if you don't, you will know tonight, right? You will know tonight. You'll know right after this Zoom, actually. So that kind of takes me to my next part. So once you know where you ended in April, okay, now you got to know where you're at for May 1st and 2nd and 3rd and so on and so on. So for me, and this is preference, you guys, and Tavia, you might have another method, but my favorite thing to do every single day, okay, number 1, I get a calendar and I put my group volume. I wake up in the morning, and after I do my journaling and I do my prayers and I do the things, I then grab my phone and I look at my group volume and I write down my group volume on my calendar. Why do I do that? because next month I want to know what my volume is compared to today. Because you always want to be going, you want to go up. You always want to go up. Now, it's not always going to go up, trust me. But when you notice, like if you, on June 3rd, if you're like, damn, my volume was 200 more than it is today, then you're already, by then, you know, either credit card declines or people canceled their auto ships, right? So you're already knowing, like, I got to kind of pick up the pace, okay? So that's one thing I do. So you write down your group volume every single day for every, I mean, like you should have a calendar that has it from January 1 to now, or you're starting it today. You know what I mean? So you write down your group volume. You take a joke.
I do. So quick question, because I'm thinking as you're talking. So when you say like how far you are away from Ruby, is that the projection? Like when you go through and you count up like the volumes that are, because most of my auto ships honestly run like the 25th, I'll say like
Got it.
probably at least 85% of my team's auto ships. So I project out like looking to see, okay, these have run last month. So I'm assuming they're running this month. If this is their third order, I kind of put a note next to it because they may be iffy. But are you talking about that, or are you talking about the exact number? Like if I only have 55 BV today, then I know that I am way, thousands away
Yes.
from getting.
Okay, that is a really good question. And that's what basically I'm trying to retrain retrain you guys to not rely on projections.
Okay.
Basically, I want you guys to wake up on the first of the month and go, okay, my GV is 150. I am, what is that, you guys? Sorry, 1750? No, 1850. I am 1850 GV away from Ruby. Okay. And then the next day. So like without projections, without going on the 13th, I should have this much, right? What I want you guys to do is each day, I want you to look at how close you are to Ruby. Okay. And what your mindset's going to do is I want to hit it closer without projections. Okay. I'm going to kick it into high gear. And I'm going to get as many LCs as I can today. And I'm going to tell Cheyenne and Gina, who are on my team, hey guys, like, let's not wait until the middle of the month to hit these promotions. Hey guys, let's not wait till the 25th and see what auto ships are to see what we need to do. And that's when we need to hustle. It's almost like you guys want to look at it today. Act like there are no projections. Act like we're in a company that doesn't run auto ships. That's the mindset and the hustle that we all need to have. Okay. Cause we kind of like sit back and rely, like on, yep, oh, there's a bug. Sorry, guys. I don't know what that was. Something flew and landed right in front of me. Oh, sorry, squirrel. But basically, you guys, yeah, so you want to see where you are each day. You want to try to get to those ranks each day. And the more you're working in the first, the second, and third, and the fourth, then you guys are putting things into place that weren't there at the end of the month, if that makes sense.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
So then, because I use my projections too to know where to move LCs and DTs. So are you doing both? Because if I'm literally going off of today's number and I'm looking at, Tavia and she has 0 and Heather has, 55 BV and my next person has 12, then obviously I'm going to move it to the person who has 0. But in the projection world, they got 676 and somebody else has, 380. Like, how do you balance that as far as, does that make sense?
So basically, this is why you have a chart in front of you, how you ended in April. Okay. So let me give you an example. Let me just use a random idea. Okay. So a girl on my team has 3 DTs. One of them is way over what she needs to be. Way, way, way over. She's good. The second one was barely over 400. So I'm like, she's good for, this is what I'm saying. This is how I do it. She's good for now because she was a little over 400 last month. Now that third box was only 90. So it don't matter what your projections are, girl. All you're doing is making sure that 90 box gets to 400 tomorrow. So you're not worried about it when projections are starting to fall into place.
Thank you. That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out, like how you balance that. But if you're looking at it, so you constantly keep the old chart in front of you from
Yes.
the month, and then you work.
You
on-
have that old chart in front of you so much that you've got it memorized. And
Okay.
that's like
That was the
you
part I
would
was
know.
missing. Because I looked
Yeah.
at the old chart, but usually by the 5th of the month, I got rid of the old chart and I moved to
Mm.
projections.
Yeah. So if you're moving to projections and getting rid of your old chart, you're kind of back in that place of just kind of like the waiting game and
Right.
making sure those auto ships run. So like I just said, so I'll say that again, you guys. Let's go back. Let's all think about our Ruby chart for last month. Let's all think about it right now. Because no matter what rank you are, you had a Ruby chart for last month, right? Okay. So most of the time, or sometimes you have one box that's higher than all the other, right? You always have like that one box that's higher than the other. Okay. Was that person below 400 or over? Okay. If that person was over, you're going to just know that like you're good for now. Okay. Because that person is closer than the person that had 0 or that person that had 30 BV. So you're going to be like, that person's good for now. Okay. So then you go to the next person. Okay. And then you look at what their volume was last month. Okay. This has nothing to do with projections. It's where you start. It is your roadmap of your starting line. Because so many people are focused on, okay, well, she was almost there, so let me focus on there. Okay. Well, that's all well said and done, but towards the end of the month, you still got that one leg that's still at 0 BV that you're like, I still have to fill this and it's 400. But if you would have focused there in the beginning of the month, then it would have been easier for you towards the end. Okay. So great questions, you guys. Keep them coming. Couple more things real quick. This is what I said. So where do you start, right? So follow me, you guys. I feel like I wish I had I should have had like a dry erase board or something. This is where I miss like in-person things so much. Okay, follow me. So I get the calls every single month. Okay. And I wish I got more calls from certain people that are not telling me what's going on. Because then I'm like, girl, why didn't you tell me that you ordered? Because now we could have moved it. Like, I love the communication, but at the same time, stop asking your upline over and over and over again where to put this DT, where to put this LC, where to put this order. Okay. So where do you start? So let's try this again. Okay. So you have a Ruby chart. This person A was way over, person B was barely over, and person C was very low, either 0 or like under 100. Okay. So you should not be asking your upline, where do I place my LCs? Okay. Your LCs should be placed in that C box where it was either 0 or under 100. Okay. That's where you want to start. So what I do is on my Ruby chart, I write to the side, I write LCs. Okay. And then next to it, I write like a number 1. And then I write a number 1 wherever that box is. Okay. So that way, when I pull out that Ruby chart, I'm looking at, okay, I just signed up 2 LCs. Where do I need to put them? Oh, Heather said, put them in box number 1. Okay. Tell me if I'm losing you guys at all. I hope I'm not. Okay. So same thing goes with distributors, you guys. Same exact thing goes with distributors. Okay. If you have box C, okay, box C had 0 BV or it had 90 BV, okay, and that person has ghosted you completely. Like that person quit, that person's done, okay, they're not working the business. Where do you think distributor, your next distributor needs to go? It needs to go there. We call that double stacking, okay? You want to make sure that new DT goes underneath that deadest leg. I don't even know if that's a word, but it needs to go under that deadest leg. Okay. So then, this is really important. Okay, you know how I originally said all your new LCs need to go into box C because it was like the lowest, but then you get a new DT and that you place that new DT underneath that we call it a dead leg. Where do your LCs go? Do they still go in C's box or do they go into the new distributor? They should go into the new distributor. Okay, because now this is where you lump that group volume. And you guys, I'm not going to really talk about like Do you want to enroll them through their website to lock in your fast starts, or should I just enroll them under mine and place them? That is totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you yes, no, right, wrong. That is on you. You can either enroll LCs directly through a new distributor's website to lock in your fast start, or you let them do their thing and you can move your LCs there after you've enrolled them. That's on you. Okay. So I have so many DTs, you guys. I have so many DTs that barely, they're like either holding distributor rank or an executive rank, and they still got their diamond chart and they're still filling in boxes. Okay. This is why I say you need to make sure you are a solid, paid as a solid Ruby before you start throwing distributors underneath people that are not working this business. Okay. Now, talk with your upline. If you're like sitting here like, girl, my upline told me something different, go to your upline and say, hey, this is what Heather suggested. Like, what do you think? And you guys work it out, you talk it out, you figure it out. Okay. This is all just what you maybe should be doing depending on what. Now, if you've got an upline that's like, no, I'm 2 distributors away from boxing into double diamond and I need these 2 boxes filled. Don't be like, well, Heather told me not to. Okay. You guys make sure you're talking to your upline if you got one. If you don't, we're here for you. So number your boxes, you guys, with like who's most important. Okay. Like whose box is LC's going in first? Then who do you focus on? And then who do you focus on? And then you guys, I get all the time too, DTs that are like, but what if she goes over 400 and I needed her over here? I needed that LC over here. Girl, go. You need your legs to be over 400. That is what we call solid rubies. A solid ruby is not having 400, 400, 400, and you at 2050 group volume. That's like you are barely getting to ruby. And if if some of you guys just hit ruby and you hit it with that and you're like, are you saying like I suck? Like, are you saying I'm not good enough? Absolutely not. But you hit ruby, but you need to be ruby and beyond, right? So that's where don't overthink like, oh, I shouldn't have put this LC here because now she's at 480. And no, like it's okay. So you guys just don't overthink it. But again, always communicate with your upline. Like I'm not telling you right now to just take your charts and say, forget you upline. I'm just going to do what I want to do because Heather said this. This is for you guys now to get off of this Zoom and have a one-on-one with your upline and go, okay, I want to just strategize and make sure I'm doing this correctly. This is also going to be for you guys to talk to your downline about what they should be doing. Okay. This is so important. This is one of my last things, and then Tavia is going to go. You guys, number 1, we should all be running auto ships. I don't care if your PBV is $872. Okay, my PBV somehow, I'm like, did I miss moving people? My PBV last month was over 700. And of course, right away, I'm like, oh, I think I forgot to move people, but you can't, whatever. Because I'm like, it's really, really, really high. You guys, I still ran an auto ship. I was well over commission qualified, but I still ran an auto ship. Okay, you guys, just Joel and Stephanie doesn't say it. Okay, auto ship is non-negotiable. You should be, especially those of you that are Ruby and above, you should be running your auto ships. Okay, always, always, always. Now, yes, if you're way, way over and you know that you might need to place some volume, okay, and you decide not to run an auto ship because you're going to save that money so you can place an order and move it later. Again, that is something to discuss with your upline. But my philosophy, you guys, is make sure you're selling enough sample cash so there is no excuse to not running an auto ship. Run it as early in the month as possible. Absolutely. You guys, this is so funny. I ran mine on the 2nd this month and I totally forgot I had set it up for that early. And right away, I'm like pending because I do way more product. Again, I did the 6-4-1, whatever, back when distributors were allowed to do the pick 6. So it was like, I saw it pending in my account for $212. And I was like, crap, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, and right away, you guys, I went to like go send a support ticket. Like, hey, can you stop that? Cause I was going to change it. And then I was like, no, girl, you were going to go sell $220 in samples. So it's like it didn't, like it never even came out of your bank account. We got to all have that mindset. We all have to, all of you guys need to start running your auto ships with sample cash, not commissions, not your husband's paychecks. Okay. With your sample cash, reinvest in that. However, here is now where I'm going to tell you guys, unless you are doing a pick six, okay, some of us got locked in, we got grandfathered into pick six for our auto ships. Okay, if that is you, I am not talking to you right now at this point. Okay, keep running your pick six way over what you're supposed to spend or whatever your requirement is. Like, do your pick six. Okay, what I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I see this happen all the time. Okay, especially if you are running for a promotion and you have at least one dead leg. If you have one dead leg, okay, no matter what rank you are, you might be placing volume. Does everybody know what that means when we say place volume? And if you don't, please ask, because
No.
Okay, placing volume means you can place an order outside of your auto ship and you get 24 hours to move that volume to someone in your downline. 24 hours to the minute. It's not like a whole day. It's not like, okay, I'm going to do it tonight and I have all day tomorrow. It is 24 hours to the minute. Okay, that you can move volume. So we all have at least one leg where we're lacking volume. We always have it, right? We have one leg lacking volume. Okay. And then I see DTs run auto ships. They're like, oh, I want all this stuff. I want, I just got my tax return. I just got my stimulus. I just got a bonus at my other job. And I'm going to run my auto ship for 180 BV. Okay, well, that's cool. That's great. But you only need an 80 BV auto ship to be commission qualified. 80 BV auto ship is your paycheck insurance, right? So basically you're telling me you did an 180 BV auto ship because you had all this extra money, right? Now what you should have done is run your 80 BV auto ship and then placed an extra order, a one-time extra order outside of your auto ship for all that extra stuff that you wanted, because you have 24 hours to now take all that extra volume and move it to that leg that was lacking volume last month. Okay.
All right, Heather. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn. Okay.
I know. And you're a brand new Ruby. So this is a
Yes,
lot.
ma'am.
And you know
Okay.
what I want you to do too right now, please keep asking questions, but I want you to be like a sponge right now and necessarily just soak it all in, because like 2 months from now, you're going to do something on your chart. You're going to be like, ah, that's what she meant. Like, that's where you're going to have a lot of those moments come in the next like few weeks or a few months. So just don't feel super overwhelmed.
Okay. So, you're saying that if that leg is dead,
Mhm.
and you can take a one-time order and place it on that dead leg
Mhm.
and still have your auto ship for yourself, your
Correct.
commission qualified auto ship.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I just want to
Yes.
get clarity. Thank you.
Yeah. You guys will see too, and you guys are going to notice things now that you're like going, oh, okay. When you are in your eSuite and you're in the orders section, and you're looking at order history, you're looking at product credit rewards, you're looking at all of that stuff. When you click on order history on the left-hand side, you're going to see something that says 0 out of 5 moves, and then 0 to 1,000 volume. Okay, you're going to see that now. And what that means is the company allows you to move 5 orders a month if you need to. Okay. So some of you guys are like, I didn't even know that. I had no idea I could do that. Now, you guys, I am going to tell you right now, when I hit Ruby, you best believe I was never not going to hit Ruby again. Okay. So that was a pride thing for me. right? I mean, I was like, if I got to place a $100 order this month to re-rank to Ruby, I'm going to do it because I'm not losing that title. I'm not doing it. Sometimes, great. If that's you, wonderful. But we're not saying to you guys to place $500 of your own money in volume to re-rank to Ruby, because you're not going to make a $500 paycheck necessarily. So listen to these words. Don't chase the title, chase the paycheck. Okay. Just kind of always remember that. And if you're ever wondering, like, is this worth it? Always ask your upline. Say, hey, I'm X amount of group volume away from Ruby. Should I place an order? Now, what I will tell you guys, for an example, for me, I told you guys heard how much sample cash I made in April. Is it smart of me to place big orders on body wraps and skinny tea? Because I can turn around and sell it and make profit 100%. So what I tell my team is, if you need it, yeah, place the order, re-rank, place the order and re-rank, or place the order and rank up. But don't go overdrafting your bank account. Don't go put it on a credit card and have this massive amount of credit card debt. Don't not pay your electric bill because you want to make sure you're hitting executive again this month. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be smart about it. But you guys just know, like I said, if you guys need to re-rank or you're going for a promotion and you're running your auto ship for these big crazy amounts, do it as small as you can, as close to ADBV as possible. And then you can place extra orders outside of your auto ship and move that volume again within 24 hours. Okay. I don't know why that's such a big thing for me. Like, I'll see one of my DTs that needed, not that much volume to hit a promotion, and they said, well, I can't afford to place an order. And I'm like, okay, I totally understand. And then their next month's auto ship is like this crazy huge amount. Oh, I got money, so I wanted to stock up. And I'm like, girl, why didn't you talk to me first? Communication is key, so just make sure you're doing that communication. I think that's pretty much it from my side, you guys. And then also, you guys are in, next level chat, most of you, or you are Ruby and above. You guys, you should be updating your charts every single day. No excuses. Okay. Every single day. And if you need a quicker method of doing that, let us know. But you guys, nobody in this chat right now, nobody in this Zoom right now, I feel like is just like, I'm good being a distributor, or I'm good just being an executive. You guys are all wanting to make sure that you're re-ranking to your highest rank and then ranking above. You need to be updating your charts every single solitary day. I think that's it. Is there any other questions before I stop talking? This is the longest I've talked in a long time. Sorry, guys. I hope it's like some good info, or you learned something, or yeah. Cool. All right. Tavia, take it away.
All right, guys. So I have like multiple devices on, so you're probably seeing multiple of me, but I'm going to share something with you guys so you can visually see. Hopefully this will work. So for those that can't necessarily print a chart, or maybe you're more digital, there is something called Good Notes that you can use. That you can house all of your like charts in. I use paper too, but this is another option where I like to teach, right? So like I may pull these out, or you may pull out the laminated one so you can draw on it, write on it, right? So I'm going to draw on it for the purpose of this. But what I want you guys, a couple of things as far as like the projection portion, I do hope that they're going to be coming out and launching that report soon where it'll auto project, which is really nice. I will be honest, I do utilize month-end volume to find out, because here's the thing, many of you know, where did you place one-time orders at the end of the month? Where did you fall short? What leg was that? I think there is a level of being realistic, right? And understanding, where am I bleeding the most from in the overall like chart, right? So I utilize usually month-end volume based on the prior month, usually through the 5th. I have to also have my projections along with where I ended, because it's more for me. I'm a technical person. And if I know that I am literally like I know Yatika was saying, like, I'm not going to intentionally give someone 300 more BV when someone is bleeding over here. Like I have to, so I do utilize both. And I think if you guys are really involved with your chart, you kind of know, right? Like, you know, so-and-so is already, I already know he's short. I know he's short every single month. I know this person's usually this short. So you kind of already have an idea. If you're intimately involved, like she said, updating your numbers every day, I definitely would recommend that. Another thing that I do, and again, it depends on if you're digital. Every single month, I do the same thing with volume, and I also do my Facebook friends and my Instagram followers, so I can go back month to month. So every single morning, I do the same thing. So I get up in the morning and I immediately look when I'm ready to work the business. I look at my overall GV and I write it down in my calendar. So I can look to see, like today, for example, started at 1139, right? Well, if I go back up to the month before on the 3rd, we were 1,081. So I know that I'm higher, right? And do I need to know where it's necessarily coming from? No. But if it's a lot shorter, then I know, like Heather said, someone declined or someone's stopping their auto ship, and I got to figure out where it's coming from, right? So it is a good idea to have, you guys, because it's also for your thought process. Like, you want to know that every single month you're getting better, you're gaining volume, you're doing better, doing more, right? So anyway, that's something I do, and I just set a reminder and it goes off every single morning, so I know to edit that and I change it for that day. So as far as charting goes, you guys, I'll start with the Ruby chart. I too pull out a Ruby chart for myself. Now, is it fast for me usually to fill in? Well, sure. But at the end of the day, for many of you, it may not be that fast yet. So you do definitely want to pull this out. You can use the month-end volume from last month, but if it does not motivate you to get out there and complete your steps to success because you see, oh, well, the numbers are good, I'm comfortable, like, I'm pretty good, don't do that then, because you may project and be like, oh my gosh, I'm like 400 short, right? It happens to many of us, right? And we wait till, the 20th or 25th to be like, oh, I'm just going to wait till it all runs. And you really didn't do anything the entire month. And then you're like, oh, I got to do a Hail Mary and get like 1,000 volume. That's difficult, right? So when I'm looking at a Ruby chart, what I'm going to talk about, you guys, is I don't believe that there is an exact science to placement. I truly don't, because we never know the way that someone's going to pan out with work. Conversations with a lot of my leaders, it's like, okay, what vibe do you get? How do you feel? Is she responsive? Does she communicate? Like, how's her network? Did she get a first post up? Is she even doing the training, right? And you'll learn as you have these conversations with your new DTs, are they a stack or are they a standalone box? And in my head, you could say, are they a walker, are they a runner? Sure, right? But are they a stack, meaning am I going to put them under somebody else, or do I feel that they can sustain a 400 GD box on their own, right? So that's what goes through my head anytime I sign a distributor or anytime one of my leaders sign one, because I'm like, okay, let's talk about this, right? So a lot of times, I would, you guys, as far as you guys never annoy me with your questions, because I think that strategy is difficult, right? And again, there's not a specific science to it, but talking it out, as you guys grow, we'll talk it out, and you guys are already like, well, this is what I'm thinking. You guys get good, and sometimes you still question yourselves and you shouldn't. But in a Ruby box, now again, everyone's different, but in a Ruby chart, the way that I like to focus is at least, you guys, at least, now if you can get all three, please by all means get all three, but at least 3 of your boxes, okay? So I've got 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, so at least 3 of your boxes, 2 of your boxes need to be working distributors, meaning they are communicating, they are capable of bringing in volume, they are active, right? Meaning then your focus as the person ranking, you will focus on the non-working box. That is your responsibility. I have this saying where you teach and then you build. I'm teaching in one leg and I'm building in another, right? Because here's the problem that many of us tend to do. We say, I'm going to erase this. We say, oh, I've got, all these 3 distributors, and all of a sudden, I have 1 customer, so I'm going to put 1 here. Oh, I have another, I'm going to put it here. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what, girl, I feel bad. I haven't given her anything, so I'm going to give her this. Here's what you just did. You literally gave away 300 in volume to separate legs, and now nobody's at 400. I'm a firm believer at checking off boxes. So if you know your volume and you know that those 3 customers combined could have finished this box, sister, you better finish that box, right? You can only build effectively in 1 leg, and you can teach effectively in 1 leg. When we tend to stretch ourselves too much, it gets really crazy, right? So that's kind of the philosophy. And if you haven't tried that method, be open to it, because you can be teaching these two, teach them steps to success, teach them how you're doing your host to post, teach them whatever else you need to teach them. And maybe your build leg is someone who's inactive. So you're not teaching in that leg because that's you, right? But you're teaching in your other two legs, because maybe your other two legs are capable of doing what you're doing. So teach them what you're doing to bring in volume for the dead leg that you're working on, right? Now, if you have 3 working legs, fantastic, right? That's an even stronger foundation. Absolutely, right? I'll go to a picture. This is a diamond chart. Now, I will preface saying this. Do I firmly believe that this is something that I stick with every single time? No, I don't. Because it is a very subjective thing when you get someone's actual chart in front of you. You can think someone's working, and then all of a sudden you're charted for emerald, and then really you only have a solid ruby, right? Like, how many of you have been there? Okay. So don't be afraid to back up. One of the things that I try not to do is, even though you're charted for an emerald, but you're only ever ranking ruby, stop trying to go further and chart out diamond. Start stacking, because you're just spreading yourself thinner and thinner and thinner. So if you can't quite yet place in, making this 3rd leg an emerald yet, don't do it, right? Back up a little bit and start stacking, because where a new distributor goes, new volume flows, right? It's like the saying, new distributors go, new volume flows, meaning I want them to get their 6 LCs, whether I help them or whether they help themselves, right? And as you guys being leaders, here's the thing. Many of you guys may not even sign the distributors that are part of your team. Who cares? They're on your team. So it's your responsibility to a certain extent to kind of say, okay, I've got 3 new DTs. Where are they at in their 6? How can I help them? Maybe I can't build them because I'm building it another leg, but I can teach them, right? Maybe, I can get in a 3-way chat, and maybe I can get on a one-on-one. Maybe I can learn what they need or where they're lacking so that I can teach them, right, how to produce to get their 6, right? So it's a different mindset that I think as you guys advance beyond Ruby that you want to start thinking about, So I don't know if you guys took a screenshot of this, but I am recording it, so I'll post it. But this one, I don't even know where this came from, to be honest with you. I like it, and I think it's strategic to the most part of where these numbers. Some, I don't know. It just depends. It's a subjective thing. How strong are your leaders? I honestly think that you guys have to be very careful when you guys are looking at even an emerald. Ruby is a little bit different, because you guys, these are just three boxes. They can be capable of maintaining a rank or not as a ruby, right? When you start to get emerald and above, this is where it gets tricky. And the reason why is because this leg and this leg, who was just a 400 box for you, now has to be capable of maintaining, managing, and leading a ruby. And if they're not, I wouldn't even say if they're not at that level, but if they're not in a state in which you can build upon as far as their leadership goes, then they may not be the one you want to build, right? And you'll know. I think, honestly, it's like that gut feeling. It's an intuition you have to follow. And if not, guess what? You can always stack them. You can stack them with this person and then build this person to a ruby, right? So this person technically doesn't technically really move, right? It's more just for the purposes of your chart, but you can move up that person into this box instead of building the person that was dead. Just move up one. That's all you have to do, right? So hopefully that makes sense a little bit, you guys. I don't want to get it too busy, but that's how I focus. In a ruby, 2 of the 3 working legs, you build in one leg, you teach in the other. Now, if you're a person that's like, look, I have a ruby, sure, but nobody's working. Okay, well then you already know the solution. It's to get more DTs, right? And it's to build in one leg, teach in another. Your upline above you, let's hope they're working. They can build in one leg for you and help you teach in another. And you want to build in separate legs, right? You never necessarily want to build in the same leg unless that is the only rank left to achieve for a big promotion, and you can effectively both bust it out in a small amount of time, right? Now, for those of you that may not be strong at steps to success, okay, like you're here and you're not maybe steps to success yet every single month, then this 400 box is supposed to be your responsibility. Then I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get a third DT on your top line then, because what's going to happen is you're going to struggle every single month trying to get that box up. Even though I say 2 of the 3 working legs, if you're not effective in enrolling yourself, this box then, number 3, has to be a working DT, because if not, you're going to drive yourself crazy and you're going to feel like you're in this vicious hamster wheel, right? So again, it would be you focus on DTs. And a lot of times people will say focus on DTs through the 15th of the month. I wouldn't even give it a deadline. Focus on it the entire month. But, you know, a lot of times when you're going for a promotion, it would be ideal to have all your distributors in place by the 15th, and then the rest of it's just volume. In a perfect world, that's great. But let's be honest, it doesn't always happen like that. So you go based on what you have. So if you're going for diamond, right? Okay. And you are, let me erase this. Actually, oh, that's double. Hold up. Okay. So if you're going for diamond, right? This is you. Okay. And this one's your 400 box. This is your responsibility. They're good to go. Maybe you've got an outside ruby that's looking really, really good, right? Okay. So then if that's the case, and let's say this DT who's going to be your emerald should be working. Gosh, I hope they should be working, right? Then these legs and the ranking boxes should be working, right? Here's how this works. Look at this. So if I look at this entire chart, see if you guys follow me, I'll color code this. So this is you. You are going to be focusing on this leg. Okay. Once this is where you're building, and then you're teaching in these 2 legs. This is a working DT, right? They're going to build in one leg, teach in the other legs, right? Same thing over here. They're going to build. Actually, they're going to be building in this leg right here. Build in this leg, and then they're going to be teaching in these legs. Here, these are ranking boxes. Every leader is responsible for one leg that they build. You can take a ruby and literally only ever have to focus on one box if you're strategic enough. So this DT who's about to go ruby, she's going to build in one leg and teach in the other. But then maybe this DT up here who's going to be the emerald, she already filled in this box. So then she's going to switch her focus to one of these legs. And then she's going to switch her focus to one of these legs to help here, right? So every single time, once you're done building a box, you move to the next box you're building, right? That's how this should flow. And if you have 2 of the 3 working legs in a ruby, then all you need to do is remember that philosophy and just expand out as you go emerald, as you go diamond. Now, if you don't have 2 of the 3, then back up 1. Right? Like if emerald doesn't have 2 of the 3 working DTs in each of your rubies, back up and fill it in to where then you do have 2 of the 3. Is it easier said than done? Absolutely. Sure. Right. I mean, these DTs sometimes they just don't hit, right? You know, you never know. But at the same time, know that if you could get 2 of the 3 working DTs, your ranking and your promotions are going to be that much easier, right? But again, if you're not as strong with steps to success, you fill in that 3rd box. Make sure that you're filling it in with a workable DT, because you're just going to stress yourself out and you don't want to necessarily do that. So I talked a lot, but are there any questions? I'll delete this. I'll erase this. Any questions, you guys?
I don't know how there's not. I know maybe I know you guys, I like the part where she just went over, like you have your person directly under you, and you've got like 3 DTs under them, and you're like, that's my ruby leg, but it's dead. There's the person's not working it. But then one of those DTs under them has 3 and they're working. When I found out that person gets to move up, not like there's no physical move up. You don't see it anywhere. You get to move them up on your chart. I was literally mind blown. I was like, wait, what? Like, I was like, I cannot believe this. So, I mean, unless you guys really already knew a lot of this, I just feel like some of you guys maybe like I actually don't even know what kind of question to ask. Like, I also wanted to say, I totally forgot, you guys, something that's really important. Let's say that ruby leg right here that she just circled. Go ahead and circle that for me. Let's say she's not really doing much, and there's two DTs there under her, and they're not really doing much either. But let's go ahead and just say that there is 700 in volume. Either it was placed by you or they were doing something, but now people are ghosting you, nothing's really going on. And now they're about to cancel out. One thing that I do on my charts as well, you guys, is I have my enrollment dates of all of my DTs on my chart. I just write really small somewhere in pencil. I write down like 3-31 or like 4-2 or 8-7. The reason why is because, and I've seen this happen to like triples and above, you guys, where they're just sitting back, they're not really looking at their charts, they're like, yeah, my volume's good. All of a sudden that ruby box, okay, all of a sudden that ruby box and those 2 DTs under her all enrolled, let's say March 31st. Let's just say March 31st. Okay. Well, there's still $700 in volume there. Okay. Now let's say you just went, oops, I totally forgot to reach out to her. She's now canceled. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. A distributor has up to 60 days to pay their annual renewal of $39, 35. Yeah. They have 60 days. So technically that box will not say canceled for 60 days. It'll say enrollment date 3/31 and it will still say active. But if that person does not renew by May 30th, okay, May 30th or May 31st or whatever, then that box goes canceled. And now you're going, oh shoot, I got to replace that box. I got to replace those people because now there's no active DTs in that leg, but I still have $700 in volume there. You guys, you have to put somebody underneath there before they cancel out, or you can no longer put someone under there and you can no longer use that volume for promotion. Okay. Now that volume, it's still volume. It still counts towards your group volume, but you can't use that leg anymore. That it's like a leg with just random volume. I've seen doubles and triples that have 5 legs of all this like weird volume, 500 here, 200 here, 1,000, and they can't use it because they never replaced that leg with someone new. And what do I mean by that? Okay. That means like Tavia said, what's the wording? The new DT brings in new volume. So right before
any DT goes, volume flows. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So you sign up that new DT and you want to make sure that you get that person in there, you want to replace that person before they cancel out. So now you can now you're building new.
Absolutely.
And you've got some group volume there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So make sure you know, you need to, not only do you need to know when your renewal date is every single, like I call your It Works, your It Works birthday, your It Works anniversary, but you need to know kind of what's going on in your downline. You need them, especially if they're not all in like you, especially if they're not on the Zoom and they're on your chart, like you need to know, like, dude, when do they need to be replaced by, just in case? Okay. I forgot to say that earlier.
Yeah, and another thing too, when you guys are looking or projecting volume, remember that like if this one has 400, 300, and 200, and then she has 200 PBV, right here. This 4, 3, and 2, this is going to count as her GV. Okay. So a lot of times I think what hangs people up when they're projecting is that you double count things. It's easy to do, right? But it actually, volume trickles up to the top. So if this is the top line of this person, all the volume that happens under, right, will trickle up to these top legs. Even if that top leg is canceled status, as long as that person, if there's one active DT somewhere in the downline, volume trickles up to that top. And as long as that top box, whether it's canceled or not, is over 400 GB, it can count as a qualified leg for ranking purposes, right? So hopefully that makes sense. When you guys are adding that up, remember that because, yeah. So like 200, do they have to be at 200 or 400 PBV to count? No, GV. So it's, but for ranking, right? Like, so yeah, like, so hopefully that makes sense. You can get into all the different details on like, you know, whether it's counting for a chart or whether they're now the ranking box versus were they just the 400 box. So it switches sometimes, but in the overall scheme of things, volume trickles up to the top and it totals in that person's GV. So hopefully that makes sense.
Can I ask a quick question with this?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
have
go
this
ahead.
exact thing and Heather helped me see it. So my DT finally canceled out. It's been 60 days.
Okay.
I have a DT under her.
Mhm.
So do I still write my DT that canceled? I still put her name and use her there at that box, or I move my new DT up and just use the GV from my old DT that canceled?
Yeah, I do something like this.
Okay.
So I put my new DT
Okay.
name in the box, but I will make sure I mentally, because here's the thing, I think I'm going to remember, but sometimes if our chart, if you're going over so many charts, you don't remember. So then I'll put a plus 200 because I know there's someone above her. So I know I need to add the overall 200 because if this leg only needs to be 400 for whatever rank, right? Maybe I'm just cover up the bottom and I'm just looking at Ruby. Then I need to know that the top box is over 400. But when I start looking Emerald, well, then that's a different story because now she's the ranking leg and that doesn't necessarily pertain to that. But yes, I would put the new name. Don't keep putting the old, but just put beside it or somewhere that you know, plus whatever, that the overall leg still has volume. But remember too, when this person is ready, your new DT is ready to rank, this volume does not count for that rank. Right? So like if this person
Okay.
has to get 2,000, right? This one, even though you got an extra 200 floating above her, that doesn't count in her 2,000 because she's under that person. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Right? So it's not
Yes.
really, she only needs 1,800. No. She still needs 2,000 below.
Still needs.
Yeah, below.
Okay.
Yeah, because that can throw people
Okay.
too.
And the 200 is just a bonus.
Correct. Now, if she only needs to be Gina, a 400 box, well then sure, that counts because you can use the top leg, the dead leg, the person that canceled. But when she needs to rank, it is now her and below. Anything above is extra volume for
Okay.
you because sometimes we need extra volume overall to hit a rank too. And that will count for you because you're above that person. But it would never count for someone below.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Good question. Anyone else? These little good notes are fun. You can use your pencil. I don't often use these, but to like show and teach, that's why I usually use them, but I like paper. But you can use it on your phone too, just so you guys know. I have good notes on
Is
my
this
phone
your
too.
iPad, by the way? I know you started doing this. I was
It
like,
is.
well, hot damn, I need this.
It is. It's my iPad, but I have good notes on my phone too. So I can use my Apple Pencil on there too and write if I'm
Okay.
on the go.
Didn't even know there was such a thing as an Apple Pencil. Putting that
Uh-huh.
on my shopping list. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Tavia, do you have the big, huge tablet, the new one?
Like the new iPad, I don't know. I got it last
Okay.
year.
Because I know that I know Brittany Cromwell and like Jade talk about how like they got the new Apple iPad and it came with that Apple Pencil and
Yes.
they do a lot of their business on there.
Yes, I have that.
Okay.
Guys,
But you use it with an old iPad or like not the new? Or do
No,
you-
this iPad is new and it came with the pencil, but I can use
Oh.
the pencil on my phone
Oh, all right.
too.
And
So I
you
have
can
so if I
use
don't
it on
bring
an
my
old
iPad on the
iPad?
go, yeah, I can still pull it up. So
Yeah, you can. I have an iPad that my school gave me. Like I don't own my own. And then I bought my own Apple Pencil and it works perfectly. Like it's flawless. I use it for my charts and my personal stuff, but then I also have like my kids practice handwriting and it works with any, like as long as you can Bluetooth connect to the iPad, it works just fine because
Oh
it's
my
a
gosh.
Bluetooth connection, so it doesn't matter if it's new.
yeah,
How
some
did I
people
not
get
know
really
about
techy.
this?
Like, see, you can have your whole calendar in here, and then you can have it like tagged to where it goes to like the different areas, and you can change your year,
What?
and you can like write on it. some people, I mean,
How do
I
you
like it.
pull the documents for GoodNotes? Because I downloaded GoodNotes, but I didn't.
Yeah,
go-
so you go like this, you just hit the plus sign and you say you want image, and then you go into like, oh, my kids have had this, obviously. But then you go into like, let's say I want to add this. I can add it directly in there, or I can add it to a different folder. Like I have folders. Right? So like you can create one, like a new right here, new folder, image, whatever, and you can add them there. So you can
If you guys want, I can help teach how to use it and stuff. Like I don't mind doing like a mini Zoom on it if you want, because I've been using it. Like Tavia told me to get it to use for my charts, so I did. But then I started using it for like school. I made a wedding planner on it. I have my kids' calendar on it. Like I have everything. I use it for everything. So if you guys want, I can teach you how to use it. I'm happy to help with that.
Yeah, we need that.
I just can't believe I never knew. I know Amber Parker would do some doodling on Zooms with us.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what she
know
does.
what that was. I had no idea there was something called an Apple Pencil. I'm literally like, already texted my
Yeah, don't
husband
get
just
the
now.
off-brand
I'm
ones.
like,
They don't work as well. You have to
Okay.
get an Apple
I
one.
have
Thursday.
an Amazon one and it works fine.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah, but
man.
it doesn't.
Like,
It
one of
won't
your-
calibrate the same way.
Yeah.
Like the calibration is way different. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to spend $100. So I went on eBay and I got one that was new without the packaging, or like new without the plastic wrapper around. I got it for like $65 and it was still brand new. And it works perfectly.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to think, I don't even know. I download these from Etsy. So like this is a calendar and it goes through 2022, but you can download it from like Etsy, or you can do whatever, you want with it. And then you can go like, there's so many pages in this, but like it starts like this, and you can like have like a different cover. You can change it. You write on it. You can put your goals in it. Like they have a whole bunch of stuff.
And you can do that on your phone too?
Yeah, I can access it on my phone. Everything is,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I mean, because you're signing in like the same thing. So yeah, it's not as big, but I mean,
Mhm.
You can use free calendars from Google too, and just like throw the
yeah, I'll
PDF
just
in.
upload them.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, but hopefully, and I always like a visual. So hopefully that helps you guys as far as with the charts. But yeah, any other questions you guys have? Oh yes, I can get you. I know Tamara, you said yes. I'll send you. You're probably talking about this one, maybe. Trying to think. This one, right?
Yeah, they're still on our team page.
Yes.
Are they in the team page still? Okay, we'll
Yeah,
find them
because
and I'll
they're in
tag you.
that-
And I
They're
have
in that file that I sent that I put on the team page of the charts I made.
Yes.
Plus those, they're in that, so they
That's
should be
right.
on the page already.
We'll find them. We'll tag you, Tamara. Yeah, they're nice. I like
Okay.
those.
I
The
use
setup
those
is
too.
different.
Thanks, Chelsea. I've been using those since you gave them to us a year ago.
Happy to help.
Very cool. If you guys
Yeah.
have
Does
questions,
anyone else
that-
have any questions? Look at this.
yeah, I was just gonna say, if you guys have questions, after the fact, just reach out.
Yeah,
I
let
know
us know.
for my team personally, I would love to do some one-on-one charting Zooms, and not even just one-on-one, but I would like to do a charting Zoom with like your downline. That way it's not 5 different Zooms, it's one with your team. So yeah, if you guys want some of that, let me know. I would love it.
Yeah. Now everyone's ready to go diamond and beyond. So let's do it.
Yes. And we're not waiting
here's
for
the thing.
projections. We are doing it.
Yeah.
We're acting like projections don't exist. That's where I feel like that's where the comfort zone and the complacent stands. It's like, well, I got 12 LCs last month, and they're going to run like on the 13th, the 15th, and the 23rd. Well, let's act like they're not, and let's pretend like we're going to replace that volume already, But the thing is, like Tavia said, but get those DTs, especially with this promo code right now. Like, yeah, get the LCs, but why? Like, get the DTs and start, stacking and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, were you guys on that Zoom not too long ago where they said you can sign like, I don't know, 20 customers and make this commission, or you can enroll 3 DTs and
Yep.
make like $400 more? I would
Yep.
not, I mean, I love signing distributors. You do make more money. Like, but again, I think that it's just, it's whatever you're focusing on. I honestly think that as far as charting goes, are you guys going to screw it up? Yeah, I totally screwed up. I didn't even know for the longest time you could move people. Yeah, so there's that. But I think that is how you learn, you know? So I don't think there's any dumb question ever, because it's new territory for many of you. You just have never been in it, or you've never had the people that you've worked with. Like, it's new territory for me. So whenever we're all talking about it, it's like we're talking about it for the first time, because everyone's different. So, and it changes all the time. So when you have a chart, know that that chart is ever changing. Just because you start with one way, literally there's been times in the same month, especially if you're promoting, one of the most stressful things is having to replace someone quit all of a sudden, someone canceled. I mean, it happens, you guys. So the chart's ever changing. The chart's just like, it's just a roadmap, you know. It's important, but know that it can change too. And sometimes you just have to flex with it. But hopefully this helps you guys. I will get the recording out, and then I will Chelsea, we'll get with you and see when you have time to maybe, even if it's like a pop-up training during the week, I think it'd be helpful for you.
Yeah, let me get that pencil for Mother's Day, and
There you
then totally we'll plan that that Zoom.
There you go.